Hi, this is Elizabeth Cermak from Your Highest Light, here every Friday at 11:11 to talk to you guys about your favorite topic and mine, attracting beautiful things into your life and creating a life that you love, reaching your highest light, creating that life that you love. I am a life coach, I'm a tarot card reader, and I am currently a therapist, almost a therapist in recovery, I'm about to say. So I'm actually finishing my job as a therapist and moving to a full-time life coach soon in a couple of weeks. So if you're joining me, please drop me an emoji to show me that you're here. Tell me where you're from. Give me a wave or something like that just to let me know that you're here. Last week we talked about assertiveness. So we did part 1 of my assertiveness series, and today we're doing part 2. So last week we talked about 3 steps to assertiveness. The first step is sending that person that you are having an issue with love. The second step is visualizing how you want to feel when you leave the situation. And the third step is don't expect perfection from yourself or from anyone else. So if anybody was able to use those steps like my friend did, she had an awesome outcome from it, especially that step of visualizing how she wanted to feel when she left the experience. So she wanted to feel like she gave her all, like she didn't back down. She wanted to feel like she really stood up for her rights. I know I had somebody too, I had a client on here who, or a viewer who said that she wanted to ask for her boss for a raise. So this is an awesome time to use these steps. So sending the person love, visualizing how you want to feel when you leave the situation, and don't expect perfection from yourself or anyone else because we're all here learning. So that was what we talked about last week in assertiveness, and this week we're going to go a little bit deeper and we're going to be talking about energetic boundaries. I'm going to talk about a personal story of mine about how when we carry somebody else's pain, it doesn't work, it's not healthy for ourselves, and it's not healthy for anybody else. So this is like I said, it's a real personal story that I'm going to be sharing about my own life and how I carried somebody else's pain, and it was really super destructive for me. I have my notes here if you guys could be looking just to make sure that I stay on topic, because I tend to sometimes go off topic. At the end, we also will do our fairy cards, and I have Gabby Bernstein's The Universe Has Your Back deck, so we're going to be doing that at the end. So if you're just joining me, give me a wave or something to show me that you're here, and I'm going to get started. So like I mentioned, I'm a life coach, and I kind of joked I'm going to be a therapist in recovery because I'm actually moving from doing full-time therapy to full-time life coaching. And life coaching, so this is a quote from Cara Alwill-Leyba. I don't know if I'm saying her name right, the Champagne Diet. But she says that life coaching takes you from functional to fabulous. And I love that quote because I think it's so true. You know, a lot of times therapy is taking us, say this is functional. Therapy might take us from below functioning to functioning, but then life coaching is taking us from functional to fabulous. So, you know, you can live your life carrying somebody else's pain. You can do that, but it's going to make you can still function in the world like that, but you're not going to be fabulous if you're doing that, okay? So the world really needs you, and I'm going to explain this later on. The world needs you to be able to handle its pain without carrying it yourself, without absorbing it yourself. Okay, so hi Cynthia. Hi, so good to see you guys. I'm glad you guys are joining. Like I said, if you join, I love it if you can send me an emoji. It's always helpful to get the hashtags and stuff like that, because then the more I get that, the more it lets other people know. I guess with algorithms on Facebook and Instagram, it lets other people know that I'm here. So anyway, so we're going a little bit deeper into assertiveness this week, and we're talking about energetic boundaries. And if you're an empath, you know there's a lot out there about empaths these days. If you're an empath, I'm going to take a quick drink, who carries on the problems of the world, this is my sister mug, thank you to my sister. So if you're an empath who carries around the problems of the world, who feels like you absorb the news, you absorb other people's issues, this is for you. I think I said it last week, I have a codependent personality, so I just naturally do this. And a lot of us, you know, Marianne Williamson would say that we're all empaths. And that's very true. Some, though, have it worse than others. So, you know, we all do absorb other people's problems. We absorb the energy of the world. So once we know that we're doing this is when we can really put everybody's pain where it belongs. So there's a reason why we're going to do a technique today. I'm going to show you guys a technique where we are going to practice putting the pain back where it belongs. So if you feel like you have absorbed somebody else's pain or the pain of the news or whatever it is, if you feel like you've absorbed that, we're going to practice what it feels like to give it back where it belongs. But I want to tell you why. First of all, we feel for other people. So I want to tell you why it's okay to put the pain back where it belongs, and this is not a mean thing to do. It's not doing something destructive to the other person. It's because whoever the pain belongs to is the only person who can digest and deal with it. So when you're trying to carry everybody else's pain with you and you're trying to deal with it, you are not made to digest somebody else's pain. You can only deal and digest with your own pain. The only person who can digest that person's pain is that person. So do you see how carrying it around with you, I thought of an example and I forgot what it was. See how carrying it around with you is so self-destructive. It's destructive for everybody. So it's almost like, this is what it was. Have you ever heard people say, oh, I don't want to tell that person because they're going to worry? And so, because worrying will make you feel worse. If somebody else is worried about your problem, that's going to make you feel worse. So that's why that worrying about somebody else's problem, that's carrying their pain, okay? So that's why somebody's like, oh, I don't want to tell that person because they're going to worry, and then that's going to make that person feel worse. When you sit with somebody and hold their hand and know that they can handle their own pain, that is true. That is truly being with that person in their pain. Okay, so giving the pain back to the person is not a mean thing. It just means that they're the only one who can digest it. When you try to carry it around with yourself, you're just making more problems for yourself and more problems for the world. So we need to give the pain back where it belongs. I hope that makes sense. And I'm going to explain, and I have written a blog about this as well, so you're going to get this on people who are on my mailing list. If you're not on my mailing list, get on it, because I'm going to send out a blog about this as well. Because I might write about a little bit easier than I talk about. So like I said, the whole purpose of getting a life coach is to take you from functional to fabulous. And if you're carrying around somebody else's pain, you're not able to be fabulous. So if you feel like you need help with this further, you can always contact me, Elizabeth at Your Highest Light, or send me an instant message on Instagram or Facebook, and I can work with you on these things deeper. So I'm going to tell you a personal story of taking on another person's pain. And this is something that happened when I was small. This is something that happened with me growing up, and it wasn't conscious. And this is the thing, is it's usually not. It's usually unconscious. So you usually don't know that you're doing it, and the other person doesn't know that you're doing it. So it's nobody's fault. But when I was 1 year old, I had a cousin who was 13 years old, and he got hit by a truck, and he died. And so this was my aunt and uncle, my mom's sister and brother-in-law, their son. And so when I was one, my aunt and uncle, I was very close to them the whole time growing up, okay? And I don't remember this happening. It was just a tragedy that happened in my family. And I was really close to his aunt and uncle growing up. And I always knew that tragedy was there. I didn't know too much about it. I just knew that was there, that their 13-year-old son had died when I was one. So like I said, I was very close to them growing up. They grew up in the same town as me, or they lived in the same town as me. And then when I got a little bit older, they had moved to Florida. And so when I was a senior in college, so fast forward, that was when I was 1 year old, my cousin had passed away when he was 13. When I was a senior in college, my uncle, which was his father, passed away from congestive heart failure. I say in my blog that his heart was broken, because I really believe that it was. So he died when I was a senior in college in August, beginning of my senior year of college, he died. And then 2 months later, his daughter, my aunt and uncle's daughter, passed away of a rare blood disease. It was extremely tragic. So my aunt is left with, she still has the death of her son who was 13. She has her soulmate husband who passed away, and then she has her daughter who passed away. So it's a lot of pain for one person to deal with. So she was left with those losses, a lot of loss for one person, like I said. And I'm looking at my notes so I can keep myself on track here. So when that happened, when I was a senior in college, a long time ago, I think that was about 20 years ago now. When that happened when I was a senior in college, I went and stayed with my aunt on my spring break. I was probably one of the only senior and college kids who went on their spring break to stay with their aunt in Florida, who was older. So, I mean, during that time, I felt like I wanted to go stay with her. And during that time, she told me that when I was 1, that I brought a lot of joy back into their lives and that I helped them heal from the pain of the death of their son. So I didn't know that. And I say that, my little 1-year-old lights tried to fill that black hole that was left in their life. And so that light did the best it could to fill that black hole. But I feel like I found myself lost in it sometimes. And this is nobody's fault. This just means that I really believe that my aunt and uncle and I were incarnated here for a purpose. We were here together for a reason, and that all happened for a reason. So I don't believe that it was anybody's fault. But finding that out when I was a senior in college, it was like, well, how could I have known? I didn't. It was just very shocking to me to find that out. And, I was always really close to them. I just didn't know that I really was there. The way that she put it, that I filled that void for them, or that I helped them through that. I didn't know that. I was just being a 1-year-old, right? So my aunt, I remember that spring break, my aunt did not want me to go home. She said that if I, she was dealing with a lot of pain, obviously. And she said if I would stay there with her, she would have a reason to get up in the morning. And, that broke my heart. And I feel like as much as, I wanted to stay, I couldn't stay. My life wasn't there. I had to go back to school. But I say that a part of me did stay with her. A part of me couldn't leave her. And so it was a part that was dealing with a lot of pain. So fast forward a few years later, I was dealing with a lot of anxiety and depression in my life. And it wasn't all because of this, but it was just, I was dealing with it because it's something that I had dealt with. And I went to a hypnotherapist, and she was a therapist who did hypnotherapy like I do currently. And one session, I was trying to get rid of this horrible anxiety, depression that I felt like I had been plagued with. And this pain, this situation, my aunt and uncle's tragedy came up in the session. And my therapist said, she asked me to imagine all the emotional pain from this situation and put it in a pile in front of me. And she asked me to do that, and I said I could do that. It was a visualization. And she said, how high is that pile? And I said it was to the sky. And she said, how much of that pain belonged to me? And I said that some of it did. And that's when I realized that it wasn't all my pain, that I was trying to carry the pain of my aunt and my uncle. I believe we carry the pain of our ancestors as well without knowing it. And that it didn't belong to me, that it belonged to them. And she had me do this visualization where she had me visualize me giving the pain back and putting it back where it belongs. And I was left with some pain, but it was a much smaller pile, and I could digest it and I could deal with that. But I couldn't deal with all the pain of the world. So, like I say, everyone can deal with their own pain, but you cannot deal with everyone's pain. So that's not up to you. So by giving the pain back to the person that it belongs to, I'm looking at my notes, you're telling the person that you believe in her or him. You can hold her hand while she digests her own pain, and you know that she can handle it, and that you're showing her. I talk about this in another blog with my nieces whose mother took her own life, and one of the hardest things in the world for me was that I could not take that from them, but not until I could show them that they were, I'm sorry, I'm not saying this right. So I could not take that pain from them, but I could show them that I had faith in them and that they could handle it themselves, and that I could handle my own pain from the situation. And in doing that, you can heal each other. Okay, so, you have a very specific and important job here on earth, and you can't do it if you're carrying around, if you're absorbing all this pain. The world needs to know, the world needs you to show it that its pain can't hurt you. So only then are you truly free. The world needs you to show it that its pain can't hurt you. And then you're truly free, and you're truly free to do whatever healing work or whatever work you're meant to do here on this earth. And your mission here is huge, but you don't want to keep yourself small. Okay, so I know this is a little bit of a deep exercise or a deep thing that I talked about today, but I think everybody can probably relate to it in a certain way. Everybody has carried somebody else's pain with them. And so we're going to do a small exercise, a small visualization. So I want you guys to just close your eyes with me. And you know, just for this exercise, this is not a substitute for therapy. I'm going to have you guys pick a small situation where there's a small amount of pain. I just want you guys to feel what it feels like to give the pain back to where it belongs. Get a taste of it. So, like I said, if you're dealing with something deeper or something like that, definitely contact me or find a good spiritual coach or somebody like that who can help you deal with this. So go ahead and close your eyes. We're going to start the meditation. Go ahead and close your eyes with me and take 3 deep breaths. I always tell my clients that I see in person, I'm not looking at you, so I'm not looking at you at home either. So go ahead and close your eyes. Let yourself get relaxed. Wherever you are, it's okay. Get comfortable. And after you take those 3 deep breaths, I want you to just keep breathing. And on the inhale, say the word I. And the exhale, say the word M. On the inhale, say the word I. On the exhale, say the word M. And let yourself feel very peaceful as you do this. If your mind wanders, just come back to the words I and M and your breath. And let yourself feel very peaceful. Let your body feel very peaceful. And now we're going to ask God and the angels and the highest light and truth to protect us during this exercise, and to guide us, and to only show you what you can handle just for this exercise. And now that you're nice and relaxed, I want you to let a recent situation come to you where you may have absorbed a little bit of another person's pain. It could have been a loved one that was dealing with something difficult. It could have been something in the news that latched onto you. It just felt like a pain, like a negative energy that had attached itself to you. Maybe it showed up as worry. And imagine it as a small pile of emotional pain sitting in front of you. Just a small, it's not a huge pile of pain, but it's something small, and it may not all be yours. And it's okay if you don't know who the pain belongs to, because sometimes we absorb the pain of our ancestors. And with God and the angels' help, they know where it belongs. Go ahead and put the pain back where it belongs. Just let them take the pain from you, knowing that whosever pain it is, only the owner can handle it. By giving it back to them, we show them that we believe in them. We know that they are warriors just like us. We can be there and hold their hand while they digest and handle their own pain, even if you're just there spiritually. And now we are free to digest and handle our own pain. We thank and honor these people for being a part of our lives, whether in person or physically or spiritually. And we can all go on our happy and free ways, knowing that together, each person in and out of this world is able to handle whatever pain they have. Because love and light is so much stronger than any pain of this world. And now imagine a white protective light surrounding you. This light keeps the pain of the world out and only lets love in. Now you feel lighter. You have lightened your load. And you can go on with a skip in your step, knowing that love will prevail. It always does. So I might do a separate video where I only do that exercise and go a little bit slower. But if you guys, hopefully you're able to just see what it felt like to, when you're carrying somebody else's pain, first of all, what does that feel like? And then what it feels like to make sure it goes back where it belongs. So I can see some people joined since we're doing that. Hi, Juan. Hi, Sarah. There's a rainbow in your hair. I know. It's a new filter. I don't know if it's new. It's just a filter that I used. Hi, Susie. Okay. And hi, Jen and Dorothy. So good to see you guys. So we talked today. Like I said, last week we did our 3 steps to assertiveness. Send that person love. Imagine how you want to feel when you leave the situation. And don't expect perfection. And today we went deeper into a technique about energetic boundaries, so giving people back their own pain. And that is part of assertiveness. Assertiveness has a lot of different parts to it. And that is a part of it, because when you're able to assertively handle your own pain and give back everybody else's theirs, then you can really do whatever big job that you are here to do in the world. So, like I said, today went a little bit deeper. So we're going to do a reading. First of all, I'm going to pull a card from Gabby Bernstein, The Universe Has Your Back deck. And if you guys have any experience, let me know what you guys thought of that exercise, or if you have one that you want me to do, if you want me to do it again, or if you have a different one that you want me to do. I'm always open to feedback on what you want, and what you need. So please let me know. I would love to hear from you guys. Okay, so we're going to pull our first card from Gabby's deck. And my purpose, like I said, your highest light. I want to help you reach your highest light, and that's the whole point of watching these videos, or getting a life coach of your own, or reading, self-help, is to get your life from functional to fabulous. So that's what the point of a life coach is. Okay, so first card. Let's see what it has to say. Energy flows where my intention goes. I pull this card all the time. So think about your intention. What is your intention? And that is where your energy is going to go. So if you are focused on worry, that is where your energy is going to go, right? So if you are focused on how do you want to feel today, how do you want to feel tomorrow, and are you doing things to get yourself to feel that way? Okay, so energy flows where my intention goes. Do you want to, just give me some intentions. Tell me in the comments, what are some of your intentions? More confidence? Do you want to make more money? Do you want to, what is it? What is your intention? So are you going to stay home and worry about stuff? Or are you going to put your energy towards what you want instead of what you don't want? We don't want to put our energy towards what we don't want. Okay, so this is from the Fairy Tarot deck from Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine, which I always have to pull during the summer. I'm a little bit addicted to this deck because the fairies are all about nature. Okay, so let's see what they have to say. The 5 of Spring. Okay, opposing goals arising from differing opinions. Feeling at odds with yourself or others. Overly ambitious people. And I'm looking at this. These are 2 little fairies. They look like they're kind of playing, but they also look like they are arguing. I have a friend. So Prudence Servac has started a Instagram page. Where does she go? My dog. And one of my friends who has dogs, she says that when she can't tell sometimes if they're playing or if they're fighting or playing. It just sounds the same kind of with dogs. So, but anyway, if you want to follow Prudence Servac, she's on Instagram, Prudence_Servac. So 5 of Spring, opposing goals arising from differing opinions. So this could be feeling at odds with yourself or feeling at odds with somebody else. So this is kind of like what we talked about last week with assertiveness. Like, it's about making a decision and moving forward. Maybe you're having something within you, like internally, that you're struggling with, going one way or the other, or maybe it's something outside of you. So, but the whole idea is that if you make the decision and move forward, you don't have to make the best or the right decision. Sometimes there isn't the perfect or right decision. You just have to make a decision to get yourself to move forward. I hope that makes sense. So don't get stuck on trying to be perfect or make the perfect right decision. They even say, like in business, it's better done than perfect. So don't get stuck on being perfect. Just make a decision so you can move forward. And make sure that your energy is going to what you want and not what you don't want. So it's kind of hard to see with that. So make sure your energy is going towards what you want and not towards what you don't want. And then the next card, the 5 of Spring, is saying the same thing. It's make sure your energy is going towards what you want and not what you don't want. Because a lot of times when we have that internal struggle, it's because we are thinking about what we want, but then we're thinking more strongly about what we don't want. So that comes with practice. Don't be afraid to think anything, but this comes with practice and with meditation and with focus. And if you can worry, honestly, the worriers are the best manifestors. So if you can worry, that means you are very good at focusing on one thing for a long time. You can actually turn that around and focus on what you want. Actually, you're going to be better at doing this than someone who doesn't worry. So know that that worry habit can be turned into a strength. Okay, so I hope everybody had such a good experience today. I'm looking at right now. My intention is to get amazing seats for Paul McCartney. Jen says that. Me too. My intention is, so Jen, are you going to? I know you're going to the Canada shows. So I think my husband and I are going to Quebec, and then we're thinking about going to Montreal. So if anybody isn't updated on Paul McCartney, he just announced that he's going to be in Canada in September. So yeah, so we're looking at, did you register? I know, oh, well, no, you probably didn't need to. So Jen says that her intention is to get awesome seats for Paul McCartney. So like visualize yourself how it's going to feel when you get that awesome seat. Think about it the night before, get excited, emit that feeling of excitement out into the universe. And the other thing that you can do is anytime you're feeling good, like anytime that you have a good feeling, it might come out of nowhere, use that feeling and put it out there about the Paul McCartney concert. Okay, oh cool, yeah, they're going to Quebec. Okay, cool, we'll maybe meet you there. We can, that's also cool. And so yesterday my husband, so Paul McCartney also announced that he's going to Liverpool and London in December. And yesterday my husband said, well, why don't you just register for those just in case? So I don't know, we could be having a wonderful Christmas time with Paul McCartney in Liverpool in December. It's a possibility. I'm going to put that intention out there. I don't know if it'll happen this year or not, because we'll see if he's going to come to, we're waiting for some U.S. announcement. Okay, I'm sorry you guys, I had to get off topic talking about Paul McCartney, but it's a Beatles time right now. Ringo's on the road. We're going to be seeing him in September, and we're going to see the Yellow Submarine remastered movie on Monday, so it's coming to the Beatles season. Every season's Beatles season for us. We say every room in our house is the Beatles room. Okay, I love you guys so much. I hope this was helpful. I'm going to put a picture of the cards on Instagram and Facebook. I feel like I missed, somebody else said something. And did I miss that? Oh, using my energy to go, Cynthia says, using my energy to go exercise. Thank you for the push. I know, you know what? It's amazing how when you exercise, like a mind shift can help you get through that exercising so much easier. Instead of thinking, I hate this and this is so horrible, you know, if you could just make a simple shift in your mindset, it has to come from you. It can't come necessarily from me, but I know for me that if I'm able to make my mind shift and just kind of enjoy it or take it, you know, not kill myself and try to enjoy how it feels to move my body. I don't know why, this is interesting. Yesterday I was in yoga. My cousin came to my mind. I'm talking about my family a lot today. My cousin who also passed away, he was in a wheelchair. I don't know why he came to my mind when I was doing yoga yesterday, and I thought, Elizabeth, because it was the day after the 4th of July. My husband and I went to 7:30 yoga. We were outside. It was hot and it was hard. It was just a hard class. And this thing came to my mind. It was probably my cousin speaking to me and said, Elizabeth, be so glad that your legs work, that you can do this. You know, thinking about him in a wheelchair and how he would probably be so thankful to be able to do a yoga class. And that came to me, and that little mind shift, man, did that help me get through that class and just helped it be much more enjoyable. And I kind of felt his presence there. So it was pretty miraculous and beautiful. It's amazing how, you know, A Course in Miracles says that a miracle is a shift in perception from fear to love, and that's absolutely true. So, okay, well, I hope you guys, this was helpful to you. If you guys want me to do that exercise again, I can do that in a separate tape. Just let me know. I will see you guys. I know I have a hard time letting you go. I have separation anxiety from my people watching my tape. So I love you guys. I will see you guys next week at 11:11. Where's Prudence? Prudence! It's not so hot out today, so she's doing a lot better, but she's sitting over in the sun. Okay, I love you guys. I'll see you guys next week. Peace and love. Bye.